Hello, my name is Urmi, and in this video today I will share my tips and strategies on how I passed the CFA Level 1 exam. So I took the CFA Level 1 exam back in 2019. I took it in the summer of 2019, and at the beginning I was a little bit hesitating on whether or not I should actually pursue with the CFA designation. And after seeing and talking to many people in the industry, I was like, if they can do it, why can I not do it? So I actually went with it. So I took the CFA Level 1 exam in June 2019, and because it was, my first exam, I wanted to make sure that I passed it in the first shot. I did dedicate a lot of time when it came to studying. I think I probably gave it like 9 to 10 months of preparation, even though I know people usually give 3 months, some other people give 6 months. I didn't want to risk it, so I gave it actually 10 months. And I think I started studying for it around September. And what I did is I actually watched all the videos from IFT. I used his materials to study for the CFA Level 1 exam because from people that I know that passed the CFA Level 1 exam, they told me that IFT is a pretty good provider, and I actually do agree. I do think he does a very good job. He explains hard concept in a very simplified manner. He explains them really well. So I watch all of his videos, I watch all of his lectures. And then what I did is I would actually practice from the CFA website. So I actually did not use any books. I didn't open the books from the CFA Institute. I never opened any of the curriculum because the books are massive, gigantic. I didn't think it was effective for me to just go over the readings. But I think practicing was a bit more important for me in order to succeed the exam. And also from other people that have passed the exam, they told me that it's more important to practice for the CFA Level 1 than just read the materials. Although I would say people have different ways of studying, but I think for me, an active learning, like I actively like to learn, and for me, an active learning is to just practice as much as possible. So I practice from the CFA Institute, and I also practice from Schweizer, and I did not read any books. I just watched solely the IFT videos. The other thing that I did is that I always made sure that I was constantly studying, and I was never taking an actual pause. I would say I would never take an actual break. So I actually studied constantly every day during the week. So I would study basically after work because I work full time. So I would study after work from, let's say, 6 to 10, and then during the weekend I would actually study probably 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday, and I would usually use those 2 days to actually practice. So I would go over the lectures during the week. I would take notes. I would make graphs, charts, and stuff like that. And then during the weekend, I would make sure to practice. And I think one way to retain whatever you studied is to practicing. There was a time that I did a mistake, which was that sometimes I would just go over all the materials all together, and then I would practice maybe months later. And I realized that when I did that, I was actually forgetting everything that I have learned. And I think one way to actually learn effectively something is to go over the materials and then the next day just do the practice. I think this way you're able to retain the information much more effectively, much more efficiently, and you remember more. So do this instead of doing the same mistake that I did, which was, sometimes I would just go over everything. I will maybe practice after a month, and then I would forget everything, and that's not a good way to actually retain information. And then the other thing is that I did not take any time off when I was studying for the CFA Level 1 exam. I know a lot of people that when they were studying for the CFA Level 1 exam, they actually took a week, a month off to study, especially like the month before the exam. I didn't do that because I didn't want to have any unwanted stress, and I don't like to leave things at the last minute, which is why when I was studying for the CFA Level 1, I started early enough so that I would like not feel stressed and, you know, be okay. Just like I just wanted to be relaxed the month before. So I actually worked until the very last day of the exam. I only took the day off on the date that I had to give the exam. Actually, no, I did not even take the day off because it was on a Saturday. And so I actually studied until the last day and I didn't take time off. And I think if you can manage your time properly, you don't need to take time off to study for the CFA Level 1 exam. The other thing that I wanted to say about the CFA Level 1 materials is that I do feel like the content of the CFA Level 1 curriculum, it's related to whatever you did in your undergraduate. And so basically, if you do come from a finance background, you will see that a lot of the materials are related to accounting, corporate finance, you have statistics. So make sure that, you know, like whenever you're going through the materials, whatever you are doing, it's not really new. It's more like a revision. But maybe you will have like added materials, so there are like things that you have to remember. Maybe some topics might go a little bit deeper than what you did in your undergraduate, but I would say it's basically whatever you did in the 4 or 5 years of your undergraduate, it's compressed in 6 books. So that can make it a little bit tough when it comes to studying for the CFA Level 1 exam, but not everything is new. So I think a lot of the times, like, you will be familiar with a lot of the concepts, so it's not going to be as hard as everyone is saying. You just have to make sure that you're disciplined and you're persistent and that you're practicing enough so that you increase your chances of passing the exam. And of course, the earlier you start, the higher are your chances of passing the exam, because I think you're just giving yourself more time to go over the materials, and you're giving yourself time to practice. And lastly, I would say that I know that, you know, the CFA Level 1 exam is very important. You have to study hard, you have to study a lot of hours, but do not neglect other things in your life. So when it comes to like having 8 hours of sleep, make sure to get those, because that's important for your own like brain, for your own mental rest. If you are someone who works out, it's also very important that you take time to like work out, to relax, and those are very, very important things. So do not neglect those things. I actually did my all of my workout. I made sure that I slept 8 hours because that was so important for me. And then just make sure to have a routine, like you have your to-do list. Make sure that you allocate 3 to 4 hours to study for the CFA Level 1 exam, and I think everything should be okay. So hopefully this video was useful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it and if you have any questions. And if not, I will see you all next time. Bye bye.